And we're live. Welcome to the Steel Syndicate Podcast. G'day, guys. How's it going? Owen and Daniel J. What's up?
Hey,
How's it
mate.
going?
Good.
How
All
are
good,
how
man.
are you both?
I'm
How are
doing
you,
great,
man?
man. I'm out here in Latrobe and just got finished up with training camp and watching that. So it's been a great day for me, guys. It's been a lot of fun. It's my first time out here, and I highly recommend it when you guys come down to the States. If you guys get an opportunity in the off season to go check it out, 100% go do it. It's a lot of fun. The interaction, the fans, the players, how close you are. At one point, I actually had a conversation with Danny Smith, the special teams coach, for about 45
Wow.
seconds. Yeah, he came out and I was like, "Hey, Coach Smith, how's it going?" And
What,
he came. Go ahead.
was he chewing gum?
Oh, sure he was. You know it. Yeah, he came up to me and I was like, "How's it going?" And we could see some rain coming in the background, and he was like, "Oh man, Coach T loves this stuff. The rainier, the wetter, the worse the elements, the better for Coach T." It's like,
Really?
I don't really care for it, but Coach T loves it. And so that was the extent of our conversation, me and Danny Smith.
Wow. And how are you doing, Owen?
I'm doing good, mate. Yeah, not too bad. Just literally walked in from work about half an hour ago. But yeah, all good, man.
And you guys can ask how I am doing too if you want to.
How
That's
are
up to
you,
you.
Mark?
Oh, thank you. I'm fine, man. I just kind of woke up. Like this is the morning shift when we do these podcasts at my 8 a.m. But we got some big news, I guess, to talk about too before we start the live or podcast or getting the insights from State of the Steelers. Daniel J here, who's at training camp, and we're going to ask Daniel J a ton of questions about training camp, but. The big elephant in the room right now is the Deontay Johnson situation where he signed a new deal. The 2 year deal, I think $36 million, $36 million, $18 million a year. What are your thoughts, Owen, on this deal? Are you happy with the 2 year, what is it? Yeah, 2 year deal for DJ.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal. I thought the big news, Mark, was you getting new headphones.
They are, but they're super funny, man. I got to get used to them. I sound like I'm underwater. The big news too, I got a new chair as well. Check that out,
That's nice.
hey?
Yeah,
Hey?
yeah,
Yeah, look at
yeah.
that.
Yeah, no, it's a good deal, man. It's a good deal. It's a good extension. It finally puts to rest the whole Deontay Johnson um, sort of rumors about won't he be signed, or is he going to be traded? But yeah, I think about 36 million, 18 million. Yeah, that's about a fair price for Deontay Johnson. I think I've sort of the right price bracket from an Omar Khan is proving what a fantastic financial wizard he is and what a fantastic GM he is as well with the deal.
And what about yourself there, Daniel, mate?
Oh man, I thought it was a great deal. I think this signing here just proves more that the signing of Omar Khan as the general manager was the right decision. I love everything that Omar Khan's done this offseason so far. He's signed people early and often. He's not, no more of this. We're going to wait until the regular season before a star player gets signed, and they miss out the entire training camp. I actually love this about the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they're doing right now. As far as the numbers go, I had come out and being very skeptical about Deontay Johnson getting an extension at $20 million a year or plus, and Omar Khan does it again, gets him even with all these receivers, Debo Samuel, Metcalf getting huge numbers. He's able to get a receiver that is statistically better and at less cost. So it's a true measure of the job that Omar Khan has done so far.
Yeah, I think it's a win for both parties, really. I think DJ has now 2 years to go out and maybe prove himself and maybe get a bigger deal. He said he wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler for life, but I don't think the Steelers really wanted to fire the bullet and give him a big contract for like 5 years or whatever. But DJ, 2 years, $18 million a year. It's still pretty. It's up there, but that's what you got to pay some receivers. And I think he's worth that much money. I think he's worth around that much money. He'll make some plays over time. But this could be a situation where we just have him for the next 2 years, and then we kind of bleed in Austin or Pickens, and they take over, right? So then in 2 years' time, we'll be like, "Thank you, DJ. We appreciate what you've done for being a Steel for the last, or 3 years to go. Really, it's 3 years until
Yeah.
2025." And then Pickens and those blokes will probably take over, and by that time we'll probably have someone else new there too. So it's a really smart deal for everyone because would other teams go out and purchase DJ, for a high price for 5 years? Maybe not. And nowadays players are getting injured. Who's the guy from the Broncos? Tim Patrick got injured the other day, right? So this kind of deal says it's very short, but I think it's the way that Omar Khan's been doing these things throughout the offseason with the Miles Jack, with the James Daniels, getting players for 1 year like Ogunjobi. I think it's great what they've done. It's now DJ should be, receiver one at the start, and then Pickens will take over, or Claypool will get better. But I reckon it's great. I think it's awesome.
Definitely, yeah, definitely, 100% agree. It's a good deal. What's remarkable is, like you said, like you and Daniel both said, Khan's just going out and he's not letting this drag out like the whole what business did last summer. He's just going out and getting these deals done, and he's getting them done for what is a very good deal for the Steelers, and he's putting obviously the Steelers first, and getting DJ for 18 million a year is a bargain really when you consider, like Daniel said, DK is getting 24 million, Debo's getting 23 million, McLaurin's getting 23 million. I think timing, obviously I'm not saying that DJ's anywhere near as good as this guy, but like Devontae Adams, 28 million. So it's definitely a good deal he's got done there.
Yeah, and it's just to me, it's best for both parties where, you're not undercutting DJ to a certain degree, right? You're not giving him like 10 million or 5 million or whatever. You're giving him to a certain amount, like okay, go out and be productive now, and we'll see who he's going to work with. And we don't know now who's going to be QB number one, and we're going to ask you, Daniel, some questions soon. But DJ could work with Trubisky, or is it Rudolph, or is it Pickett? We don't know. So, yeah, do we just jump right into it? We're just going to get Daniel's insights at the training camp.
Absolutely. Let's go to the Latrobe. So
awesome. Absolutely, guys. As far as Deontay, he was out there today in full pads. He was a full go. Mitch Trubisky found him early in drills when it was just the offense practicing plays. It was good to see him out there. Good to see him in pads, and good to see him playing. And he got some rust, pretty soon, because he did have a fumble on one of the plays where they tackled him and he dropped the ball. And so, this goes back to him starting now versus starting 1 week before the regular season. Get those things out of the way, get that rust knocked off, get used to being hit again. That way, come week one against the Bengals there, he's good to go.
Fair enough. Is there any questions that you want to ask Daniel straight away on? Because I want to talk about the quarterback, but I don't know if we want to bring it up straight away.
I was going to say, it's obviously with Deontay playing today, who was he mainly working with? Which quarterbacks was he mainly working with?
Well, he was playing, but he was a little bit limited. I didn't see him on the field during a lot of this, like for instance, the 7 shots. I don't remember seeing him out there in the beginning. I did see him come out there with the ones with Mr. Trubisky when they went to team drills. But in team drills, they were very run heavy today, like extremely run heavy. And then at the latter end of the day, they went more pass. But by that point, the receivers, I think Mitch Trubisky he was with the ones, but the ones were participating just like 4 plays, and then it was the 2s and the 3s, the remaining of the time. In fact, they were able to rotate twice each. So it'd be Mitch for like 3 or 4 plays, and then it was Mason for about 3 plays, and then it was Kenny for 3, Mason for 3, Kenny for 3. And that's kind of how it went towards the latter end of the practice session. One thing I will say is it is kind of difficult to tell what's going on. There's nothing announced or anything like that. There's 3 fields, and all of a sudden they're all on one field, and then you blink and they're all on 3 fields. And so it's one of those type of situations. But he looked good. He had that one fumble, like I mentioned. It was like a wide receiver screen. Cornerback, I couldn't see who it was that was covering him. The players were kind of blocking my view. And so, but as soon as they hit him, everybody on defense started jumping up, fumble. They had referees out there today, and so the refs called it a fumble for the defense as well.
I think we have your number one Steelers fan here, mate. Is this your number one fan? If Danny,
No,
you got a supporter?
That is my number one supporter. You go.
That's all right. Hey, so what's the overall experience out there like? How is the when you first arrive? Are you getting like chills down your back? Do you feel like a player? Do you want to put pads on? What do you want to do?
So when I first got there, it was first it was not so much confusing, but there's 2 places to park apparently, and so I finally found my place to park. I went super early. I was extremely excited, so I ended up showing up probably around 11. And so they weren't supposed to open up the gates until noon. but they were already open. I was like parked literally in the second row. I went in there, got my checked everything in. Then I immediately, the first thing that's there is the to the right, they were giving away a Najee Harris signed helmet. So I went and signed up for that. And then they had the Steelers Nation Unite group on the left. So it was very much like you're walking into a game at Acrisure Stadium, where when you're walking up, you see Steelers Nation Unite tent, to the side, and then you have the pro shop there. So it's very much a game atmosphere. As I'm walking up, the scenery is just beautiful too, guys. Green grass everywhere. The trees are amazing. I'm from Texas, so there's a lot of desert where I come from. So to me, it was aesthetically pleasing. And then, you just get down to the fields and you just realize that how many players have played there, the history behind the teams that have practiced on that field, the coaching staff, the whole 9 yards. It's rich. You can feel it. And then the anticipation builds. You'll start to, like, for instance, when I first got there, Tyson Alualu was on the field already doing some working out. And so I was like, man, he's out there early. He unfortunately didn't practice, but he was, working out and working on his craft on the field there beforehand. And so that was exciting to see. And then you just see, like, some of the coaches walking by, like probably 25 yards away from me. I saw Matt Canada walk by. I saw Frazier, the wide receivers coach, walk by within like 25 yards from me, like just casually walking. It was crazy. And it's not a game atmosphere because you don't get to get that close to the players during a game. This is more of an intimate scene, so to speak, because you really do get to get close with the players, the coaching staff. Like I said, I had a conversation with Danny Smith. I actually had a brief conversation with Matt Canada as well. Nothing too crazy, just how you doing? Doing well. It was lightning starting to come down, so he had to go. But it was like unbelievable, just the scene there. And then once the players came out and started practicing, it was more probably confusion than anything else for me, because I was trying to keep track of everything, all right, who's running what, who's where are the running backs? Najee's not playing. There's TJ Watt not in pads. And so I felt for the first time like I had ADHD or something, because I was just everywhere. But it was absolutely fun.
That's awesome, though, that you had that experience out there, getting amongst the fans. And I didn't know about the three football fields. But we have big breaking news. We have a first ever super chat from Sean Manahan, $5. So thank you, Sean, because we are monetized now on this channel on the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. So that's awesome. That goes straight to Owen's jersey collection. We're trying to get Owen a Mason Rudolph jersey because he's going to be number one at the start. So that goes right to him. But we'll answer this question again because it's fun. It's fun to talk about, right? He says, what y'all think about, that's my American accent, terrible, of the DJ signing, sorry, just got home. So we'll go around the table again. Owen, just in a nutshell, or you can expand if you want to, but what do you think about DJ?
Just it is in a nutshell. It's a great deal. It's a great deal for the Steelers to get DJ for 18 million. Gives him three years now with the Steelers to have three fantastic seasons, like last season, to prove that he is a WR1. And it's a great deal that Omar Khan has again done for the Steelers, showing what a great hire Khan was as the GM.
And for yourself, Daniel?
I think it's a good signing. The contract length, the financial terms behind it. I haven't seen it, but I'm fairly positive it's going to be heavy front loaded. And so if DJ doesn't have the greatest of years this year or next year, then it's something that I'm fairly positive the Steelers can get out of. But outside of that, he's a great separator from the cornerbacks. His route running is amazing. And at the end of the day, the pay scale is what the pay scale is. And for Omar Khan to get him at under $20 million a year, when you have the likes of Deebo Samuels, and Metcalf, and McLaurin getting over 20 a year, it's a good move. I really like it. I think it's a smart move. He's going to be happier. He's in camp now. He's participating. That's only going to build chemistry between him and the starting quarterback, and it's going to build a better team for the start of the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you both. So for me too, I think it's a win-win for both parties, DJ and the Steelers. And one thing I thought about too this morning was I kind of like how there wasn't too much drama around the hold in. I know when players don't show up for workouts or whatever, there's a lot of drama, and then fans will instantly turn off on that player and start to hate them. So, like, to me, when Deontay Johnson was going through this, it's like, it's just business. It was nothing, overall crazy. I'm glad that it got done sooner rather than later, so we can just, move on as a franchise, and the fans can move on, and Steelers can move on, because now they got him for 3 years, and there's no more. There's no drama, right? All you got to do now is go out there and play. Go out there and participate in route and in training. Go play. Go win games, and then 2 more years down the line, we talk about it again, right? But to me, it's worked out for both parties. I think that's something where, if the media wasn't involved 24/7 every day, we wouldn't even know about it. You back in the day, you just go, like, I didn't know who was signing what when I was younger, when I was 2005 watching the game. You watch the game on Sunday, but now we know every single thing. Like didn't we just didn't a guy get injured? Jeremy McNichols, the running back or something?
Yeah, he's on the IR.
Right? I confused him the other day with the receiver, Javon McKinley, because these players are coming in so fast. And I was like, and he's out for a whole season. We signed the guy, and now we have Master Teague. Like, it happens so fast, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about. I really want to talk about quarterbacks, because I think we have to. I think it's a point now, training camp. I want to hear your insights, Daniel, and Owen's opinion on stuff like, okay. I'm going to say it. Who's quarterback number one? What is happening in this training camp? For what you saw today, who do you think can be quarterback number one? Because we need to find out sooner or later. It's coming up.
Well, I think the Steelers are giving Mitch Trubisky every opportunity to be quarterback number one. I don't think they've not shown much to pull away from that. I know Mason's gotten a couple of reps with the ones. I don't believe he got any reps today with the ones from what I saw. I think it was just Mitch who got them. But what I've been able to notice is they are definitely, when it comes to Mitch and Mason, well, even Pickett and Mitch are kind of similar. They're athletic. They're going to move. They roll around in the pocket and they throw. Mason's more of the guy that's going to be in the pocket. He's not rolling out as much, but what he's also doing is being very decisive. If you want the Ben Roethlisberger style offense of a short passing game and let the receivers do the work, then Mason's definitely the guy. He's very decisive. He knows where to throw the ball, where he wants to throw the ball. He's hitting the windows pretty good. He had a couple of passes today that were a little bit behind, but nothing too crazy. They were still catchable and were caught. And so I believe one was to Boykins. It was a slant that he put. Unless he was trying to do a back shoulder pass on a slant that fast, I doubt it. But he's very methodical. He'll move the ball down the field. I said this. I watched Mason play in 2019 live on Monday night against the Dolphins, and when I left that stadium, I felt like Mason could be a good quarterback if the game slowed down for him. He was like a half a second to a second behind. He made the right reads, threw the right places, but he was just a little bit slow. And what I saw today was that the game slowed down for him. It's not that fast to him. He's decisive. He knows where to throw. He's not making mistakes. I didn't see a mistake today. In fact, I don't think he had very many incompletions whatsoever. I think he may have had one, but it was a drop. And so he's done very well. But at the same time, he doesn't look explosive. He doesn't look like a star. He doesn't look like a franchise guy. It's just very much robotic, very much like boom, 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 4 yards, and let the receiver get something. Now, with Mitch Trubisky, there was some, I guess, bad juju form or whatever you want to call it, coming into this, that he wasn't that great, that he's been struggling a little bit, especially in 7-shot. So they started off 7-shot, and the first pass he hits is George Pickens for a touchdown. And so I'm like, yeah, this is looking good, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. Second pass, not so much. It was an incompletion, and then the next pass should have been an interception, if not a pick six. It hit the cornerback in the hand, and he was going the other direction. And I'm not sure what happened. I was blocked visually from the players on the field, but the ball came down, and the cornerback laid on the ground. I believe it was Arthur Millette. And so, yeah, he should have been picked off on that one. Mason Rudolph comes in, throws a touchdown, to 85. Sternberger, I think is his last name. looked good doing it. And then Kenny Pickett comes in and he does a play action pass, completely sucks in the defense, and has a wide open Cody White in the corner, and with some velocity too, guys. He threw the ball very well. I was watching him, during drills and whatnot, and Kenny Pickett looks like he could be that guy. Now, I'm not saying that he's that guy today. He does have, in my opinion, a little bit of what's called happy feet. I see him in the pocket. He is kind of shifty. He's moving his feet around quite a bit. It reminds me a lot of Mason Rudolph in 2019 because Mason had that situation as well. I think the difference is Mason happy feet also turned into like happy shoulders, and he was looking around and kind of hesitant with the ball. Kenny Pickett's not hesitant with the ball that much. He's just, you can see him running around in the pocket. But those things will come with coaching and experience and things of that nature. But I think the Steelers are going to give Mitch Trubisky every opportunity to win that number one position. And I think it's going to be that quarterback number one is going to be determined in preseason against other teams. I don't see they're going to figure that out here.
I agree with you too. I think come to preseason versus Seahawks versus Lions and who else? I don't know who else we have versus the other team, but I think preseason football will make up for a lot of that. And as I think Owen's dog just kicked out his camera. What does your dog think of it, Owen? What does your dog think of the QB1 situation?
He's a pain in the arse. He's just trying to get out of the room. He's kicking the door. He's been right. No, I've let him out now. He's gone. He doesn't. He's walked out in disgust because Daniel was saying something good about Mason Rudolph. So he's walked out in disgust.
Hey, look, I'm already seeing the transition between what is happening with yourself there, Owen. Like, you're so against him about being a McDonald's employee or whatever. And now he's turning up in camp and doing the best job out of the three. So I like to hear your thoughts where I know you love your Steelers. You want to cheer them regardless. But it's like this guy, you painted a picture like you didn't like him at all. You wouldn't buy a car from him. You wouldn't buy a house from him. But now it's starting to be like, could Mason Rudolph be the chance to be quarterback number one? But that's still a big if, right? He could go out there and fail completely in the preseason. But what are your thoughts so far, Owen, as we go through the process?
I think, it is realistic that he probably is showing up at the best in practice, but realistically, he should be. He's been there 5 years.
I agree.
He's learned the system. He's learned the player books. He knows the players. He knows how they move. He knows the routes they run. He knows their techniques. He knows their strengths, their weaknesses. Something Mitch and Kenny don't yet fully know. So that's obviously going to give him an added advantage. As Daniel was saying, if you want a Ben Roethlisberger style offense, well, if we're going down that route again, where we're going to have short pass, short pass, short pass, short pass, that's going to kill the run game because the defense are going to load the box again because they know they've got no threat over the top. Now, if we start Mason Rudolph and we go down that route again of having a Ben style offense, a very quick release, of short passing game again, a more pocket passer, then is that not the end of Matt Canada as well?
Well, it's good. This is a lot of pressure for me. This year is like removing Big Ben. I've said it a million times on any podcast. I've even said it to the local guy when I'm buying, I'm buying groceries. Look, if Matt Canada can't do something this year with his offense, there is something going on. Come on. We can all see what Pickens can do. We all can see what Najee can do. Get the O-line to be somewhat, just move someone in front of you and just hold the ball for a few seconds. Get the ball to Pickens, get the ball to Claypool. If it's more or less, they have the talent, but can you devise a game plan? Come on, man! Like, seriously.
That's the thing I'm saying, Mark, is that Matt Canada a system, which is all about RPO. It's about play action. It's about people moving constantly. That's what the system's about. Can that work with a Mason Rudolph if he is more in the Ben Roethlisberger style in terms of that short passing, no play action? Ben hated being under center because he didn't like turning his back on people. Ben last year, how many times the Steelers used play action? Hardly ever. And that's my concern. That if we're going to play Rudolph as the starter, yes, he's accurate passing. Yes, as long as his first read is open, he's great. But can he fit into that Matt Canada system? And are we not therefore setting Matt Canada up to fail?
Well, what do you think about that, Daniel?
Well, I think that's probably why the reason Mason Rudolph wasn't the default starting quarterback coming into the season or the offseason. given everything that you mentioned, him being there the longest, having the most, the tenure, having the experience with the receivers, experience in the offense, one would expect that he would have been the default starter. However, he wasn't. And I don't think that the Steelers are going to make it easy for him to be the default starter due to the fact that he's probably not going to fit the Matt Canada offense as well as a Mitch Trubisky or a Kenny Pickett. I really do feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers are moving more towards a more mobile quarterback, and their offenses, the scheme, the players that they've put around it are designed for that as well. And so I really do see that if Mason ends up winning this job, he really, really outperformed and went above the line that what he's doing now. Because I don't think what he's doing now is good enough to win him the job. It's good enough to have the job fall in his lap, so to speak. So if Mitch can lose the job and it can go to him, Kenny Pickett can not perform and it can go to him. But I don't see Rudolph winning it, so to speak, with his performance and how he's playing, even though he's the most consistent. Just because of that, he doesn't fit the right way as well as the other guys. But yeah, I mean, this is a pressure year for Matt Canada. He had the excuse last season that it was Ben Roethlisberger and his inability to move, and the O-line wasn't really there. There's no excuse this year. They've got an O-line. The O-line looked good today. They were heavy in run. They did look good, but Cam Hayward wasn't out there. TJ Watt wasn't out there. And so there's some context behind it. But they did look good. They looked good as a unit together. They were moving people around. Even in individual drills, individual positioning drills, they were playing when they were going up against the defense. The offensive line was winning more often than not today against the Leal or Mondo or whatnot. And so I think that you're absolutely right. If the Steelers and Matt Canada, they're going to definitely go more towards a mobile quarterback, and I think that they're looking at Mitch being that starting guy. But if Mitch can't get it going, a little bit more consistently, then we might see Mason Rudolph in week one. But I do think that that's going to be a short leash. His leash wasn't very long in 2019 when they yanked him for a camp arm. So I don't think he'll have a long leash either if he ends up finding himself week one starter.
Well, it's interesting as well because if Mason Rudolph goes out there and wins the QB1 position, then you have to, can Mason Rudolph, entertain the idea of playing 17 games or 16 games to be the QB number one? And I think that's maybe he's right now, the height for me is really high, but I still think that Trubisky will go out there and be week one starter. And then if it all falls to pieces, you go back to Mason Rudolph at that position. But like I said, guys, we will be doing about a half an hour show. So Owen, do you have any final questions for Daniel J?
One of the big things that's come up has been about the inside linebacker, Daniel. So people have talked about Devin Bush not struggling more in practices and Spillane looking more impressive. What did you see today from Spillane and Bush?
Well, first off, from what I saw in team drills was that Spillane had started with the ones with Bush, and then Bush got pulled out and Jack got put in there, and then after a couple plays, Spillane was moved out. They're playing solid. Today was heavy run. The running game, it was back and forth. There was only one play that ended up resulting in a big run, and it was Ant Mac. He broke like a 50-yarder off to the side. However, I'll be honest with you guys, at that point of the day, I couldn't tell you where they were, how far they were. I couldn't tell you if it was the ones or the twos that were running on defense. And so, I did see Ant Mac, break one, but they were playing heavy run today, and I really didn't see anything, more than 4 yards being ran outside of that one. And so I feel like they're doing better, but I don't see any dynamic plays coming out yet, or at least not today. I didn't see anything huge come out. Nobody was jumping and yelling there was a big tackle from the inside group. For instance, there was a defensive tackle. I can't remember his name. He's a rookie undrafted guy. He made a big play, and everybody on the defensive side was jumping. All the defensive linemen were jumping. And yet, you don't see that from the middle linebackers, not today at least. And so I would say that it was probably no news is good news kind of situation from the middle linebacker, because it wasn't anything that was noticeable that happened. And in backers drills, on backs, they were doing some runs, and Ant-Mac had a couple of passes deep that he was able to catch. And this was an individual positioning drills. He had one that he had a contested catch against Bush, and he had another one against Jack. And so, and these were down the field with the running back. It was impressive what he was able to do, Ant-Mac, but the coverage wasn't bad either.
I was going to say, Daniel, man, like I know it's your first day today, and you'll be there tomorrow for Friday Night Lights as well.
Yes, sir.
So be sure to check out, Stay the Steelers on YouTube as well. A lot of you guys already do. But do they actually hit each other? Like, are you seeing the defensive guys actually hit people at the moment?
Yes. During some plays, and depending on who the player is that they're going to hit, they will hit them. Of course, the quarterbacks aren't getting touched. Deontay Johnson got hit pretty good on the side there and caused a fumble. Like I said earlier, it was probably one of the good things to happen at this stage of training camp versus him waiting till week 1 to get signed and then have something like this happen because he's not game ready. You know what I'm saying? And so, they're hitting pretty good, especially in the front seven on the defense and the tight ends and the linebackers and the running backs the running backs, the tight ends, and the linemen on the offense. They're definitely getting physical today.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to end it here shortly, but I want to give you guys one more chance to talk about how excited you are today about the Pro Football Hall of Fame game. Owen, what's going on? Are you excited about the season starting technically today, I guess?
Yeah. Do you know what, Mark? I know it's not the Steelers. I know it's not like it was last year, but it's football. And that's the main thing. I haven't watched a proper football game since since the AFC and the NFC division. I refused to watch the Super Bowl because it was the Bengals. But
wait, didn't you watch the Super Bowl?
I watched the highlights, but I didn't watch it live because it was the Bengals.
No way! That's my favorite Super Bowl ever.
Just because it was the Bengals, but no, it's football. It's actual football. I know there's a big long list of players who are not playing today, but you know what? It's football, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, what about yourself, Daniel? Are you going to watch the game tonight in your hotel room with a 6-pack and in a pizza?
I'm gonna watch the game minus the 6-pack and the pizza. I had that last night. I had the pizza last night, man. Too much pizza getting me heartburn. There's a spot down the place from my hotel room that said authentic Italian pizza. I was like, all right, let's try this. And so I got 2 big old slices from there yesterday. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm ready to watch the game. I'll be honest with you guys, with everything that's happened today, I completely forgot that there's a preseason game until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Now I got something to do here in a minute.
You should go out to like a pub or something and go out and find some other Steeler fans and, I don't know, talk Steelers and watch the game. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I actually have to do an audio podcast here when we get off for Behind the Steel Curtain. That'll be airing out this Saturday, so please go find that in reference to what I saw. And then I got to do my own video for tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a busy night for me.
You're a busy man now, and you've also got the Friday Night Lights tomorrow. All right, fellas. Thank you, Owen, once again for helping me out being the host of the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. And thank you, Daniel J, for giving us an insight to the the training camp. I was kind of hoping you'd be on the field, but I guess that's kind of cool. I was like, I did see your videos, though, from Save the Steelers. So, yeah, thanks, guys, for coming on the show, eh?
Thank you.
And Owen, you want to send us out because we've got the football coming up real soon. You want to send us out with your tagline?
If you want me to, Mark. Here we go, Steelers. Come on.
Come on. I like that. All right. See you later. Here we go, Steelers.